So let's work on this. We can't use a calculator, okay? So the way we did it in class, we're going to say this is equal to theta. Cosine we can say this. Now, theta has to be in the upper half of the unit circle. That's understood because that's the range for cosine inverse functions. And what do we say from where do we go from here? We can rewrite it as follows. We can say this. I don't think we need a parenthesis here. It's not a big issue. Let's fix it. All right. Now, of course, theta is here. I have a unit circle. As you can see, theta has to be here. For what value of theta? Cosine theta is negative 1 over square root of 3. Well, guess what? I don't have it in the unit circle, so I have to do it the hard way, right? So let's do it the hard way. What is the hard way? The trig identity. And we know cosine squared theta plus sine squared theta is equal to 1. Equal to 1. And I do know that cosine theta is negative 1 over square root of 3. If I square that carefully, I will get negative. If I square this, okay, I'll get negative will be canceled. I'll get 1 over 3. Okay, you have to do it carefully and you don't want to mess it up. All right, so far so good. I'm going to subtract 1/3 from both sides. And I'm going to get 1 minus 1/3 is 2/3. Okay, that's all fine. Now, sine theta is square root of 2/3. Sine theta is square root of 2/3, but you have to have plus minus. You have to have plus minus. Now, let me make sure I did it correctly, okay? Give me 1 second. A little bit of work in this problem. This is not an easy problem, let me tell you this. Now, let's pause and reflect. Now, I need to find out if sine theta is positive or negative. So, if theta is in the upper half in quadrant 1 or quadrant 2, and cosine theta is negative, so it has to be in quadrant 2. In quadrant 2, sine theta is positive. I was careful. Let's try it once again. Since cosine theta is negative and theta has to be in the upper half, theta must be in quadrant. Let me tell you what I mean by quadrant. Here, when you have your unit circle, I'm not gonna, well, I will draw the circle. What difference does it make? Since it's an inverse function, theta has to be here. But cosine theta is negative. It has to be here. And right here, sine theta is positive. Now, I will write it like this. I don't know if it's going to help me, but it won't hurt. I'm going to write it like this. Okay, now I know for sure sine theta is square root of 2 over square root of 3, and cosine theta is negative 1 over square root of 3. However, if I know this whole mess is theta, my question really now becomes cotangent theta. Okay, how do we find cotangent theta? Cotangent is cosine over sine. Let's do it nicely. This cotangent is cosine over sine. Okay. We're going to do it very nicely. We're going to write this, then divide this by this number. Okay. So that's all we need to do. We're finished. Cosine theta, which is and don't forget the negative. What happens then? I have to cancel a few things. I can cancel this with this, and my answer will be negative 1 over square root of 2. Negative 1 over square root of 2. That's what I'm going to write. Done. That's my answer. And my answer is going to be this pink shape. And I'm going to change the colors to green here, if these are not my answers. I hope that makes sense.